All right, so apparently Nicolas Batum had some things to say about Wemby. I mean, I guess we all got something to say about Wemby nowadays.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so this should be fun. A few things to get out the way right off the bat. Big shout out to Marshall for sending this to me. Big shout out to Marshall. Marshall Jari. Hopefully I said your last name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. But he basically sent this over to me on Instagram. Amazing that I saw it at all. I do not check my Instagram enough. If you guys want to show me anything, usually use Twitter. But he hit me up on Instagram, said, hey, there is an interview here. You might have missed it. He even gave me the timestamp of it. And he even offered to translate it for me. And I said, don't worry about that. You guys do way too much unpaid labor to begin with. So we're going to try our best and struggle with the English translation. And if anybody, in the kindness of their heart, if you want to go into the comments, because there's a lot of French people that follow this channel. If you're from France, if you just speak French or whatnot, please, you can head into the comments and you can tell us, you know, if anything we got wrong here. But yeah, you don't have to do it for my sake, okay? I will struggle, and yeah. But if anybody wants to let us know what we got wrong, that's totally cool. We'll take a look at that. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. Oh my goodness. All right, so we got to do some reading, okay? I'm a big anime fan, so this is nothing to me, all right? I read subbed all the time. All right, let's turn this up, at least on my end. Make sure this is turned down so you guys, your ears aren't bleeding.
Non, parce qu'on a tous fantasmé,
We're good
tous,
to go.
hein,
Rêvons plus grand.
le fameux
Ça
rêve
marche
plus
jamais,
grand,
hein.
les Twin Towers. Pour l'instant, ça marche très très peu, ça c'est clair. Mais le fameux Twin Towers, Rudy et Victor, jouer poste 4 et 5 dans le 5 majeur. À partir de quel moment tu t'es dit en fait ça n'a
And they're talking about the Olympics right now, okay? If you're lost, they're talking about the Olympics.
pas marché?
Ça a été compliqué parce que on se retrouve avec 4 mecs intérieurs totalement différents, très 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 forts. Et il fallait trouver la bonne combinaison. Le problème, c'est que Rudy porte l'équipe de France. C'est pas un problème, c'est que porte l'équipe de France à ce poste-là depuis 10 ans. Il est arrivé en 2014 et il s'est imposé directement la Coupe du Monde, et après il s'est installé comme starter. Et il a fait sa grosse saison encore cette année à Minnesota. Il est meilleur.
So what I'm gathering here, what he's basically saying is, you know, it's tough because you have two dominant guys in the post, and you know, you got to choose one or the other. I mean, Rudy has done it the entire time. I do have takes on this. I have a take on this. I think this is going to be good.
Défenseur de l'année, continent des conférences. Et ça a été pour lui et pour le groupe un ajustement de savoir comment on peut jouer avec Victor, qui est aussi techniquement un poste 5, qui a les aptitudes d'un tout. Mais on l'a vu cette année aux Spurs, qui commence en 4 est bon.
Okay, sorry.
Qui passe en 5 est très bon. Et je pense que Victor avait des automatismes en poste 5, là où il a commencé à décoller, c'est des postes 5 avec 4 extérieurs autour de lui. Sauf que Rudy peut jouer aussi avec un poste 4, parce que c'est ce que Towns fait. Towns, c'est une sorte, entre guillemets, de Victor, dans le style, entre guillemets. Je dis pas que c'est le même joueur, mais c'est dans le style. Donc,
Au large,
donc voilà.
face-up, tout
le
ça.
truc, c'est qu'il fallait trouver justement ce bon truc. Et ça a été difficile à trouver parce que t'as pas beaucoup de temps, entre guillemets, pour trouver des automatismes. Il faut trouver un automatisme tout de suite. T'as pas un mois et demi de préparation et 20 matchs pour 20 ou 6 mois pour préparer. Non, on a 3 semaines. C'est tout. Donc...
So I do find this quite interesting because this is kind of the same issue we came across during the season, right? Early on in the season, in which, you know, I know that Spurs get a lot of heat for last season, the struggles that we had, and saying we don't know how to use Wemby. But you can even see with this team right here, this team was way more established, right, than even what the Spurs are right now. And you would think, oh, we add Wemby, now we're so much better, which they were better. But you add Wemby, it actually caused a lot of problems as well, because you have to figure out, okay, how does this team fit with Wemby? And I think one thing that the Spurs learned pretty quickly early on is Wemby doesn't really need a center right next to him. Or at the very least, you know, a lot of Spurs fans that say we could do the Twin Towers, those days are over. And I don't think you necessarily need that. You just need other skill players that can kind of stretch the floor for Wemby. Him and Zach Collins just did not work out. It just didn't. Not only because Zach Collins didn't do a great job of spacing the floor early on, but also, you want Wemby to have as much space as possible to dominate that post, and I don't really feel like he got that right. It worked out when he's out there with Sohan. I think that looked much better when he's at center and Sohan's at power forward. But how we had it and how we were running it with Zach Collins is just not the case. And I think that the Spurs can take that going forward, that regardless of what you do, you probably don't need at least a defensive center or just a center in general probably out there with Wemby, right? I mean, Mamu's a little different. He is more power forward but stretch type player, keep the ball moving. He's just a little different, but you don't need any type of traditional big man next to Wemby.
Ça, je pense, ça a été un peu plus compliqué, mais par la suite, ça va marcher. Je pense que cette année, c'était un peu trop tôt pour que ça marche tout de suite, mais je pense vraiment que c'est un projet qui peut marcher, parce que Rudy est encore très jeune, j'espère qu'il va revenir, et c'est vraiment un plan qui peut marcher dans le futur. Il faut juste qu'ils apprennent à jouer ensemble, c'est tout. C'est quelque chose où malheureusement on n'a pas eu forcément de temps. À nous, qu'on prend aussi les extérieurs, parce que c'est aussi notre faute à nous. Et l'autre facteur, c'est que ce soit l'année dernière ou en préparation, certes, Victor est peut-être le joueur le plus important qu'on ait, mais Gershon est le meilleur joueur qu'on ait depuis 2 ans.
Gobert, I'm pretty sure this Gobert is the best player we have been for 2 years. Okay.
En équipe de France.
C'est le plus régulier, clairement, sans aucun doute.
C'est le meilleur joueur
Et
qu'on ait.
on l'a vu.
Ah bah
Mais
oui.
justement, c'est un peu ça. C'est qu'on essaye. On était les premiers à le vouloir. Et le basket est un sport tellement stratégique où on peut essayer tellement de choses qu'il faut essayer. Il fallait essayer.
Oui, il fallait essayer.
Est-ce qu'on s'est pas mis en danger en voulant essayer trop longtemps? Moi, j'ai eu cette sensation-là
Pendant la compétition,
pendant la
parles,
compète.
ça,
C'est
ouais.
que déjà la prépa, déjà face aux Serbes, on comprend que jouer grand en fait dans ce contexte FIBA où les mecs viennent te prendre à la hanche quand tu fais 2-16, 2-22, ben c'est compliqué.
Et qui peuvent répondre par des
Voilà,
grands, les Serbes. Hein.
c'est
On
ça.
se souvient de Jokic sur le Milutino.
Et est-ce qu'on n'est pas allé trop loin, on n'a pas attendu trop longtemps pour faire le switch, surtout quand on voit qu'à partir du moment où on remet Gershon au cœur du jeu, on voit que tout change.
Après, ça,
All right, I'm gonna be real. I'm a little lost right now. I'm a little lost. What I gathered here is what he was trying, or what he is saying, not trying to say. What he's saying is, do you put yourself in danger by playing the long game when it comes to these lineups? Possibly. I think I'll get a better sense of it once I hear Batum. We'll listen to what Batum say and we'll get out of here. Let's see.
c'est un peu compliqué parce que, par respect pour Rudy déjà, il a fait tellement pour l'équipe de France. 2021 dans le meilleur 5 des JO, 2022 dans le meilleur 5, il a limite d'être MVP
De l'euro. Ouais.
de l'Euro, donc cette année la saison qu'il fait, mais encore meilleur défenseur. Enfin, Rudy ne loupe pas une compétition depuis 2017, il est un des plus réguliers, donc c'est difficile en fait. Tu devais continuer à essayer parce que tu te dis à un moment ça va marcher, ça va cliquer. Malheureusement ça n'a pas cliqué tout de suite, ça s'est pas forcément fait. Il y a eu des bons passages de temps en temps quand même. Je pense que le match du Japon par exemple, Rudy fait un gros match contre le Japon. Il fait un très gros match, il contrôle sa raquette, et Victor aussi. Mais après, nous, à l'extérieur, on n'a peut-être pas forcément fait le job qu'il fallait. Mais
À l'entraînement, c'était quoi? Donc en fait, il faisait tout le temps Victor, Rudy contre Gershon et Mathias, ou il essayait quand même déjà de mixer?
On alternait.
Ok.
Quand des fois, il y avait 3 équipes de 5, ils n'étaient pas ensemble. Quand on faisait du 5-5, 2 équipes, ça dépendait, il
Tu vois,
alternait.
alors, c'est intéressant.
On
ce que tu
cherche.
So it's just saying it all depends, right? It's complicated league. It all depends. The matchups and who you put out there, it all depends. That's what I'm gathering from it. I could be a little. I'll be honest with you. As this went on, I see why you wanted to translate it. I got a little confused. I'll be honest. But overall, what I'm taking from this and what I do like from this is that, yeah, I think if you paid attention to the Olympics, there's no real reason to put Wembanyama out there with another traditional center. I don't think in the modern NBA it's going to work. What I gathered from what Batum was saying was that certain lineups worked against certain teams, but I guess it really comes down to what can work the most consistently and what can you be the most efficient team at. And in my opinion, I don't think grabbing a center and throwing them out there with Wemby is really that beneficial. However, I do still, and I know some people are against this, but these are just my thoughts. I still think that we need a backup center or defensive center. I don't 100% have faith in, you know, some of our guys, just to be honest with you, as far as our big man position. And I would just like for someone to come in, and it doesn't have to be a superstar or anything, but just a defensive center, a Jakob Poeltl type player that can come in off the bench and hold their own defensively while Wemby is sitting, right? I don't need anything crazy. I don't need a superstar or anything like that, but I do think that in the future that's what we need. But that's not something that's immediate, right? We still need to make sure that we have a point guard. We still need that second shooter next to Wemby. I don't know if Devin Vassell is going to consistently be like the number 2 guy. He takes a back seat quite often at times when we need him to be more aggressive. So he could end up being our third best scorer, which is a crazy great third best scorer, mind you. So that's just how I view it. I think we have some more immediate needs right now, but later in the future, when you're starting to construct a long running championship team, that's going to be a player that, you know, you're going to be switching in and out. You're going to need very similar to what the Spurs did before, right? We did this a long time ago when we had Tim Duncan in his prime. And while we were winning those championships, there were big men coming in and out constantly, and all played kind of similar roles, maybe until you got Thiago Splitter. That changed things up a little bit. But you're going to need somebody in that position to kind of come in and out and be somewhat decent defensive center for you. So, but that's in the future. Not worried about it. But I don't think that you need a twin tower type situation. Wemby's so good at everything. He controls the entire floor defensively. I don't know. You kind of like him having that room to operate, right? So he's a one-man wrecking crew. But you guys let me know what you thought of this. I'm sorry, some of it I got a little lost, but I think a big chunk of it, or at least the part I wanted to take from it, is good. And it's even more reason to just sit back and say, hey, let's not worry about, you know, the twin tower fantasy that we have from back when, you know, Duncan and Robinson was doing that. You know, we probably need to let go of that fantasy. That's just not going to work out. Let's see, just out of curiosity. Okay, let's see. Just wanted to see some of the top things here. All right, translated to English. Huge thanks to this channel without ad interruption, which gives the guest time to express themselves. Is no longer exist elsewhere. Don't stop. Keep the tone and the freedom is a treat. These sick interviews, you had no idea how interesting this content is. Thank you, team. This level of proximity while remaining professional and natural is a gift. When was this uploaded? Literally 11 days ago. Okay. Let's read one more. The French team really pissed me off, but this basketball team, we can only love it. Nico is brilliant sportsman, humble, and so pleasant to listen to. It's fine. I don't. Okay, this is a lot. All right, well. Anyways, like I said, and this channel is called First Team. First Team is the channel. But like I said, big shout out to Marshall here for DMing me. Really does mean a lot to me. If you guys want me to see anything, you can DM me. I may or may not see it, but tagging me on Twitter is the best way to go about it. Just at Clan the Spurs fan. So anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. Until next time. Bye. Bye.